Welcome, everyone. Today we have a very special guest joining us today, a candidate for the Cambridge City Council who brings a unique and deeply compassionate perspective to public service, Dr. Peter Xu. He is a distinguished physician and public health advocate. Born in Taiwan, he moved to the U.S. at the age of 12 and has since dedicated his life to caring for others. He is not only a hospitalist and pediatric oncologist, working on the front lines of patient care in Boston, but also a teacher at Harvard Medical School and a resident of East Cambridge since 2019. His decision to run for office was inspired by a powerful experience he had as a doctor, caring for a young man struggling with drug addiction. His patient story highlighted a critical need for support systems that extend beyond the hospital walls. Drawing from the insight, our candidate is focused on strengthening the city's approach to mental health, homelessness, and substance abuse. He has already begun his work by meeting with the Cambridge Police and Public Health Department to explore better collaboration with the city's Community Assistance, Response, and Engagement Team, CARE. Please join me in welcoming a doctor, a teacher, a public health advocate, and a committed member to our community, Dr. Peter Xu. Welcome, Dr. Xu. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. You're a practicing physician, and many people are curious about your decision to enter local politics. Could you tell us why politics?
First of all, thanks for having me. I decided to come to politics because I really wanted to raise the standards of public health for the most vulnerable populations here in Cambridge. And by that, I mean folks with homelessness, mental health issues, substance use issues, various impairments, and disabilities, including dementia. Obviously, public health for all of us, but also for these folks, as well as the family members taking care of these folks. I would really like to raise that bar for everyone. Now, we think public health in the sense of generally taking care of needles at the playgrounds, and also taking care of uninsured and underinsured patients. I think those are all very important. I will definitely do those things, but I also think public health encompasses more than just those things. For example, public health covers affordable housing, bike lanes, green space, and even fair economics. So with an academic background in public health, my support on issues will be derived from an evidence-based fashion rather than ideologies.
Staying with the theme of health, though, how would you expand mental health outreach in Cambridge?
I think the most important thing to do, the most crucial one to do, is to make sure we help folks with mental health issues to be plugged in to sort of a primary care physician setting. Okay. When that is achieved, then referrals can be made, and these folks can be taken care of by our psychiatry colleagues, and so better care can be delivered.
Okay. Affordable housing is a critical issue in Cambridge. What are your thoughts on affordable housing in our city, and what strategies would you advocate for?
Certainly, affordable housing is a very crucial topic. Throughout, I would say, over the past 20 plus years, every election term we talk about affordable housing, and to date, this is still an issue. I am definitely an advocate for affordable housing. Like I said in the beginning, I would love to help tackle the issues with homelessness, and that also relies on affordable housing. I personally favor building big and tall along the main arteries of Cambridge. With regards to different neighborhoods, established neighborhoods, I don't mind going taller, but I think there should be a review process where, if we do go taller, whether that is through the multifamily expansion or other means, I think these processes should be reviewed a little bit, not to block any buildings, but to make sure that we're not cutting down excessive trees, or we're not cutting down trees excessively, or we're not blocking our neighbors' solar panels and those kind of stuff. So as long as there's a review board, and we're not demolishing like historical buildings unnecessarily, I think for the established neighborhoods, that would be my approach. But along the main arteries of Cambridge, I favor building big and tall with 20% affordable housing per unit. or per unit of big buildings.
Okay. Moving to another frequently discussed topic, bike lanes have been a point of contention for some constituents. What do you say to those who don't like the bike lanes? And do you think there should be more policing of bike riders?
I think it depends on why somebody does not like the bike lanes. What's really the reason? And as long as we know the reason, I think we can talk and we can communicate. I'm not ideologically driven. And so, if there is a valid reason, I think we can all sit down and talk. I think most supporters and most voters out there, throughout door knocking and all these past months, I don't think anyone is really against safe bike lanes. I personally favor having safe bike lanes on streets that are wide enough. There are certain streets in Cambridge that, won't really be super friendly for bike lanes just because of the narrowness. And for those particular lanes, I think, at some point, cyclists just have to share the roads with cars and pedestrians. But for those roads that are wide enough, I favor having safe bike lanes, because that is not only safer for cyclists, but also for car drivers and pedestrians. So that is my take on bike lanes. With regards to cyclists, there are two issues that I would like to raise. Number one, I think all bikes should be tagged. Yes. I think not all of us, to be very fair, and many of us, follow traffic rules and traffic laws. But there are some of us, or a few of us that kind of run through red lights, flip middle fingers unnecessarily. Those I think those are unacceptable and unprofessional, and those should be discouraged. So I think all bikes should be tagged, and so cyclists can be held responsible for things that really unnecessarily elevates in terms of tension. The other thing is, I also think that we should have more cyclist education. This is not to penalize cyclists, but I think better education and really better communication would really help cyclists to kind of gel along with the rest of the communities that maybe are not so bike friendly, or maybe are not so bike lane friendly. I think our communities sometimes, given today's political climate, is a little bit too divisive, and this is a way, I think, to help bridge the gap.
I haven't taken a driver's test in a very, very long time, but I wonder if now, and maybe I just have to research it, is there questions in your test where bikes are included? Because I don't remember when I was taking my test, my driving test, where bikes was included into my test. I think
there are actually topics about how to respect cyclists and bike lanes currently. I have to take a look, but I remember if the current driver's test includes that, I think it is only fair also for cyclists to also get some education on respecting the roads, including pedestrians and cars.
Aside from votes, what else do you need to succeed in your campaign?
I think votes are definitely important, especially all those number one votes. So if you're listening, obviously I would love to have your number one votes. But besides votes, I really want our community to know that I do care. I'm doing this not because of money, not because of pay. If I just wanted to get paid, I would stay in my job as a physician. That pays way better than this. I really truly care about our community, and I want to do our best to help elevate our community. I think, in my humble opinion, Cambridge can be a model city for public health, which no candidate, I should say no city council candidate over the past 20 plus years has ever run on a public health platform. But I think that is a unique opportunity for Cambridge to succeed, given the talents and potentials that we have in this city. So, I would really love for folks to know that I care enough to do this, and I would love to have folks get involved with me and get in touch with me, and we can talk more about the city.
So where can we get in contact with you?
I have been handing out my palm cards, and if you are listening to this, my website is www.voteforpetershu.com, and that's Peter Shu, Peter, last name is SHU, spelled a little bit weirdly, like HSU, H first, Henry Sam University. If you go to www.voteforpetershu.com, you will find a lot of information about me.
Building on that, what do you believe is the most pressing issue facing Cambridge that isn't currently receiving enough attention? And how would you address it as a city councilor?
I think public health. And I really mean it. I don't mean it just, I'm not saying it because I'm running on this platform. I really mean it. For example, on any given night in Cambridge, there are more than 500 people homeless, on the street. That is a big number, and they need somewhere, to either be sheltered, protected, or to live and to have hot showers, just to have basic human rights, to be very fair. So on any given night, there's that number. In Cambridge, per report, every year, there are at least over 50 cases of narcotic overdose. This is an underestimated number because obviously the reported number generally is less than the actual number. Mm-hmm. Compared to, say, and again, I am a pro safe bike lane person, compared to bike fatalities, that is over 10 times. Yeah. And so, these are the issues that, and I would say that a lot of the substance use, narcotic overdose overlaps with mental health, homelessness, all these kind of stuff. And therefore, I say with an emphasis that I do believe that public health is an area that we haven't really paid enough attention to.
I agree. I very much agree with that. Cambridge has a long-standing tradition as a sanctuary city. Given recent national discussions, how would you ensure that Cambridge's policies continue to protect its immigrant community and prevent the involvement of federal agencies like ICE in local law enforcement?
I think we should do everything in our power to protect immigrants. ICE is all over national news and local news. I think they need to identify themselves. And so I would do everything in my power. I know we have a welcoming committee, and I would say, we continue that, and we also do everything in our power to help our immigrants. And that includes having different languages, having pamphlets and education materials in different languages to inform them about their rights. And America thrived on diversity. At one point, everybody immigrated to America. Mm-hmm. And so I believe we should do everything in our power to protect our immigrants.
Finally, if elected, how would you ensure that decisions made by the City Council are truly reflective of the diverse voices and needs of Cambridge residents, especially those who may feel marginalized or unheard?
One thing about, and I don't really badmouth people or say things behind people's back, but one thing I think the current City Council lacks is transparency and communication with their voter base. And that is why, certain bills that got passed over the past year had so much backlash and so much anger associated with the results. If elected, I would definitely keep communicating with my voter base. I know who my number one voters are. I also know who most of my voters are. And I would continue to communicate with these voters. And I would encourage my colleagues to also do the same with their voters. With regards to the more vulnerable populations, whether there are immigrants or they have disabilities, impairments, whatnot, I think it's very important for the future City Council, and I would say I would definitely do it if elected, to proactively reach out to these folks. Again, with materials that are in different languages, and including materials that are friendly for the hearing impaired and vision impaired folks. So that would be what I would do.
Is there anything else you would like to add before we go?
I think this election is very crucial. And I know everybody hears about this every time. But I truly believe that we have a chance to do well as a city, to exemplify and to shine and to lead, and to show other cities what cities can do in terms of giving people better lives and hopes. And thanks for having me.
Dr. Hsu, thank you so much for coming on One Thought at a Time today. We wish you the very best of luck on your campaign. It's truly important for individuals seeking positions in politics to be honest and open with the public, and we appreciate your candor and willingness to share your voice for Cambridge. Thank you again.
Thanks for having me.
That was Dr. Peter Hsu, a candidate for Cambridge City Council, who reminds us that effective building service isn't just about passing laws, it's about patient care on a citywide scale. What I took away from this conversation is that the challenges facing Cambridge, from mental health and housing to the simple infrastructure of our streets, are deeply complex, and they require a mindset that seeks to heal and support, not just to manage. Dr. Hsu is not just talking about symptoms, he's looking for a cure for the city's pain points. But here's the final thought for you, our listeners. A vision, no matter how compassionate or well-informed, remains just a thought until it is put into action. Dr. Hsu gave us a list of what he needs: volunteers, donors, and conversations. This is your call to action. Do your homework. The responsibility for a better city doesn't end with listening to a podcast. Go to Dr. Hsu's website, read his proposals, and compare his vision with the other candidates. Lend your strength. If you believe in a compassionate, public health-focused approach to city government, find your way to help. Can you volunteer an hour to knock on doors? Can you make a contribution, however small? Can you simply share his message with 2 friends? Show up. Cambridge City Council elections use proportional representation. This means every single vote, every ranking matters. On election day, don't just vote for a candidate. Use your power to rank the candidates who best reflect your hope for this city. The health of our community, like the health of a patient, is a matter of life and death, and it demands the very best we have to offer. The time for waiting is over. Let your one thought become one action. Thank you for joining us on One Thought at a Time. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep engaging with the world around you.